Have you ever thought about what a full day looks like in a village where everything depends on the land?
I'm among the last of my generation. I have faced and endured many hardships in this village. Now I'm nearly 102 years old.
Life begins early, not out of habit, but out of necessity. Mornings start with basic routines, cleaning, preparing food, and stepping out into fields. There is no separation between home and work. The same hands that cook also farm, collect water, and manage animals. Work is not scheduled by the clock, but by daylight and physical need. Fields require attention, animals require care, and household tasks continue alongside. Nothing appears rushed, yet everything gets done. This raises a simple question. What keeps this system running without modern structure? The answer is visible in the routine itself. Tasks are repeated daily, not as a burden, but as a requirement of living in such an environment. There are no unnecessary steps, no extra movement, only what is needed. And in that, a pattern forms. A way of life that may seem simple from a distance, but is built on constant effort and awareness. Shadey Village reflects a lifestyle that is closely tied to agriculture, natural resources, and daily physical work. As seen in the video, most activities revolve around farming, food preparation, and maintaining the household. The environment is open and practical. Fields, simple houses, and shared spaces where work and living happen side by side. There is limited use of machinery, so most tasks are done manually. From preparing meals on traditional stoves to working in agricultural land, effort is directly connected to survival. People here rely on what is locally available. Food is often prepared from ingredients grown nearby, and animals play an important role in supporting daily needs. This creates a system where consumption and production are closely linked. But how does such a system remain stable over time? The answer lies in consistency. The same routines are followed every day, with small adjustments based on season and need. This is not a lifestyle built on convenience, it is built on function. Every action has a purpose, and every part of the day contributes to maintaining balance within the village. If you are still watching this interesting documentary video, then please do subscribe to our channel so that it will motivate me to work hard to enhance the quality of video for viewers. The history of Shadey Village is closely linked to its geographical isolation. Located deep within the Zanskar region of Ladakh, the village developed with very limited contact with the outside world. Unlike areas connected through trade routes or roads, Shadey remained cut off for long periods, which shaped how its community evolved over time. Because of this isolation, the village preserved its traditional way of life more strongly than many other regions. Cultural practices, farming methods, and daily routines continued without major external influence. This continuity was not planned. It was a result of necessity. When access is difficult, change happens slowly. Reaching Shadey Village itself reflects this history. The village is located at a distance of around 30 kilometers from Phuktal Monastery, one of the key landmarks in the region. This positioning highlights how settlements in the area remain spread out and connected through long trekking routes. Such distance meant that earlier generations relied almost entirely on local resources and knowledge. The region around Shade also holds religious importance, with nearby monasteries like Phuktal Monastery indicating long-standing spiritual traditions in the area. These institutions have historically played a role in guiding social and cultural life. Rather than being shaped by major historical events or rapid development, Shadey Village represents a gradual history, built through continuity, adaptation, and isolation. Its past is not defined by change, but by how little it changed over time. This makes its history less about timelines and more about conditions, where geography determined connection and connection determined how life continued.
As the journey through Shadey Village comes to an end, what remains is a clearer view of how isolation shapes everyday life. The village does not stand out because of size or development, but because of how consistently it follows its own pace. There are no shortcuts here, neither in movement nor in daily work. Everything requires time, effort, and planning. This creates a rhythm where actions are deliberate and outcomes depend directly on the work put in. What do you take away from such a place? Not just visuals of mountains or villages, but an understanding of how systems function when resources are limited and access is difficult. Shade does not present itself as different. It simply exists under conditions that require a different approach to living. And in observing that, you begin to see how environment, distance, and routine come together to define a complete way of life. In Shadey Village, survival is directly tied to the land and livestock. Agriculture is not just an activity, it is the primary source of food and stability. Due to the high altitude and short growing season, crops like barley and peas are cultivated carefully, with full reliance on seasonal timing. If the growing period is missed or affected, it directly impacts food availability for the year. This makes farming a central responsibility for every household. Alongside agriculture, animals play an essential role. Yaks and cows provide milk, which is used daily in the form of butter, yogurt, and tea. These are not additional food items, they are part of the basic diet. Livestock also supports transport and farming activities, making them a core part of survival. Fuel is another critical need. With limited vegetation, people depend on dry wood collected from surrounding areas and yak dung, which is dried and stored for use as fuel. This is used for cooking and heating, especially during colder months. How does such a system sustain itself? Through planning and full utilization of available resources. Nothing is wasted. Food is stored, fuel is prepared in advance, and tasks are completed with long-term needs in mind. Survival here is not uncertain. It is structured around experience, repetition, and careful use of what the environment provides. The lifestyle in Shadey Village closely reflects how earlier generations lived in the region. Many daily practices continue in the same form, not as tradition alone, but because they remain effective in this environment. Homes, tools, and routines are simple and functional. Activities such as farming, cooking, and animal care are done manually without dependence on modern systems. Skills are passed down through observation and practice rather than formal methods. Food preparation, clothing, and daily work follow patterns that have existed for generations. There is little separation between past and present in how life is organized. What keeps this continuity intact? The conditions themselves. Limited access, harsh terrain, and dependence on local resources leave little room for rapid change. While small modern influences have reached the village, the core lifestyle remains aligned with that of their ancestors, focused on necessity, efficiency, and direct connection to the environment. Winters in Shadey Village are severe and long-lasting. Temperatures drop well below freezing, and heavy snowfall can block access routes for extended periods. Movement becomes restricted, and the village remains largely cut off during this time. Preparation for winter begins months in advance. Food supplies are stored, fuel is collected, and homes are secured to retain heat. Without this preparation, daily life becomes difficult to manage. Heating depends mainly on stored fuel such as dry wood and yak dung. Indoor spaces are kept warm through continuous use of these resources, though insulation remains basic. Outdoor activity is reduced, but essential tasks continue. Livestock still requires care, and stored resources must be managed carefully throughout the season. What makes this period challenging is not just the cold, but the limited access to anything beyond the village. There are no immediate alternatives or external support systems. Winter here is not a temporary inconvenience. It is a defining part of life that requires planning, discipline, and constant adjustment.
The culture of Shadey Village is shaped by routine, environment, and shared responsibilities. Daily life reflects a strong sense of community, where cooperation is common in farming, household work, and seasonal preparation. Traditions are not separate events, but part of everyday living. Language, food, and clothing are influenced by the wider Ladakh and Tibetan cultural region. Social interactions are simple and direct, often centered around work and family. Cultural identity is maintained through repetition of daily practices rather than formal preservation, allowing it to continue naturally across generations without major external influence. Houses in Shadey Village are built using mud, stone, and wood, materials that are locally available and suitable for the climate. Thick mud walls help retain heat during winter and keep interiors stable in changing weather. The structure is practical, with flat roofs often used for drying crops or storing materials. Inside, spaces are simple and designed for multiple uses, including cooking, sleeping, and storage. These houses are not designed for appearance, but for durability and insulation, making them well-suited to the harsh conditions of the region. In Shadey Village, women play a central role in maintaining daily life. Their responsibilities are not limited to one area. They are involved in almost every aspect of survival and routine. From early morning, women manage household tasks such as cooking, cleaning, and organizing food supplies. Alongside this, they actively participate in agricultural work, including sowing, harvesting, and managing crops. Livestock care is also part of their daily routine, especially tasks like milking yaks and cows. In addition to physical work, they are responsible for collecting fuel, managing water usage, and preparing food for storage. These tasks require consistency and planning, especially in a place where resources are limited. What stands out is not just the amount of work, but the continuity of it. There are no clear breaks between tasks. One activity leads directly into another throughout the day. Their role is not defined separately from the household or environment. It is integrated into both. Without this level of involvement, the daily system of the village would not function as it does. Electricity in Shadey Village is limited, with solar energy being the primary source. Solar panels provide basic power for lighting and small devices. Due to isolation and lack of infrastructure, this remains the most reliable and accessible energy solution for the village. Religion in Shadey Village is influenced by Tibetan Buddhism. Daily practices include prayers, rituals, and visits to nearby monasteries. These beliefs guide social values and routines, making religion a regular and integrated part of everyday life. Losar, the traditional New Year, is an important festival in Shadey Village. It includes gatherings, rituals, and especially traditional dances. Women actively participate, performing group dances that reflect cultural identity. Community bonding and celebration of a new beginning.
Shadey Village offers a clear view of how a community functions when distance, climate, and limited access define everyday choices. What becomes evident is not hardship alone, but structure, where each part of life supports another in a connected system. There is a clear sense of awareness in how time, effort, and resources are managed. Nothing is random. Actions are based on experience, and decisions are made with an understanding of long-term needs. This creates a balance where even small tasks hold importance. Another key aspect is self-reliance. Without consistent external support, the village operates through its own methods and knowledge. This independence shapes both mindset and routine, allowing people to manage challenges within their own system. What does this reflect? That a stable life does not always require expansion or complexity. It can exist through clarity, repetition, and understanding of surroundings. Shadey Village, in its current form, stands as an example of how life continues steadily when it is aligned closely with environment and necessity. As you step away from Shadey Village, what remains is not a dramatic image, but a structured understanding of how life operates under specific conditions. There is a noticeable difference in how attention is used. Without constant external input, focus shifts naturally toward what is present: work, surroundings, and routine movement. Over time, this creates a clearer connection between effort and outcome. You begin to notice how systems function without excess. There is no overproduction, no unnecessary activity, only what is required to maintain continuity. This gives each action a defined purpose. What stays with you is not just observation, but perspective. The realization that life can be organized in a way where clarity replaces complexity. Shadey does not attempt to explain itself, it simply exists within its conditions, allowing you to observe and understand without interference. And in that, it leaves behind a quiet but lasting impression. If this insight into Shadey Village gave you a new perspective, share it with others who value real stories. Follow for more grounded explorations and stay connected for journeys that focus on reality, not exaggeration.